Hi, PerspectaWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Friday, September 6th. Hurricane Dorian weakened somewhat overnight. Now a Category 1 storm with maximum sustained winds at 90 miles per hour. It has accelerated a bit, now moving about 13 miles per hour to the northeast. That acceleration will continue over the next several hours as an upper-level trough crosses the Great Lakes from the northwest to the southeast, and that trough will help to accelerate Hurricane Dorian off to the north and east. It'll slide well to the east of the Mid-Atlantic region, although there will be some impact along coastal sections of New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia over the next several hours. Here's the latest visible satellite imagery loop from the Penn State E-Wall site. You can see this eye wall still intact here, even though it has weakened somewhat overnight, and that is right at Cape Hatteras along the Outer Banks. This is the stretch of the Outer Banks right in this region right here, and then this bend is right where Cape Hatteras is, and the eye is right situated over Cape Hatteras as we speak. Again, the storm is moving to the north and east. There are rain bands, heavy rain bands, pushing to the north and west all the way into southeastern Virginia and soon to reach the southern part of the Delmarva Peninsula. But again, the latest observation has the center right around Cape Hatteras, North Carolina right now, and moving to the northeast. Maximum sustained winds at 90 miles per hour. Well, here's the current radar loop, and again, you can see the center right now near Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, of the Outer Banks. Heavy rain bands all the way into southeast Virginia, the Delmarva Peninsula, and sliding up towards New Jersey, there's some rain bands as well. Any coastal section from New Jersey down across Delaware and the rest of the Delmarva Peninsula can certainly experience tropical storm force winds over the next several hours. 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts possible along the coast in a northeasterly direction, much like a nor'easter for the Mid-Atlantic region, at least the coastal regions. Now, some of this rain could work its way back all the way into the I-95 corridor region, perhaps occasional showers in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. Nothing significant, however. The breeze will pick up as well. But again, a bigger impact certainly along coastal sections, and there certainly can be some coastal flooding at times of high tide around the middle part of this afternoon, for example, along New Jersey. Coastal flooding is a possibility to go along with those 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts out of the northeast. Well, we are finally about to get rid of Hurricane Dorian. We've been talking about it for over a week now, and by the latter part of the weekend, it'll be up over the Canadian Maritimes and then ultimately out into the open part of the North Atlantic. However, it looks like the tropical season in the Atlantic Basin will remain quite active. This is the current look from the official positioning location of the National Hurricane Center. First of all, Hurricane Dorian right over the Outer Banks. A couple other waves, tropical waves right here. And Gabrielle, which was a tropical storm, is now basically a post-tropical storm. But here's another wave, and this is the expected track over the next 5 days or so. That may be something we'll have to watch in about 5 to 7 days as it closes in on the Caribbean Sea. Still an active looking situation for the tropics. In fact, let's take a look now at a couple of other maps here that show we definitely have an active period coming up over the next couple of weeks in the Atlantic Basin. Well, just take a look at this. This is an infrared satellite image of the continent of Africa from the University of Wisconsin website, CIMSS. Here's the west coast of Africa right here. And notice several waves. This is a very healthy looking wave just about to push off the west coast of Africa. More activity right in this region right here. Another wave down here and yet another wave over here. So the breeding grounds for tropical waves for the Atlantic, the tropical Atlantic, looks quite active over the continent of Africa. Trade winds move from the east to the west here, and all of these systems will be pushing into the Atlantic Ocean over the next several days. So indeed, it looks like an active period, which is not at all surprising. This is the climatological peak season of the Atlantic Basin, tropical season, and certainly looks like we're living up to that with several waves potentially to deal with over the next couple of weeks. Well, finally, one more map to show that again suggests we have an active period coming up. We've shown this type of map from the University of Wisconsin website over the past several weeks that shows where dry air from the Saharan desert region of Africa exists over the Atlantic Ocean. Again, the trade winds push air masses from the east to the west this time of the year, and the orange and red areas on this particular type of map indicate where it's very dry, and that's an inhibiting factor for tropical storm formation in the Atlantic Basin. A week or so ago, a couple of weeks ago, this entire area was really enveloped with orange and red and dry air from the Saharan desert. That has dissipated now, so again, it's suggestive that we have no inhibiting factor in terms of Saharan desert air. In fact, this particular wave right now in the eastern Atlantic looks like it has quite an empty area in terms of dry air ahead of it. It is moving in this direction, and this particular tropical wave right now in the eastern Atlantic we may have to be dealing with 5 to 7 days down the road. But again, lots of tropical waves over the continent of Africa and not much in the way of dry air now over the tropical Atlantic Ocean. All suggests we have an active couple of weeks coming up, maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks coming up in terms of tropical activity in the Atlantic Basin. That's it for now. For PerspectaWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.